Hey, what's going on, Facebook and YouTubers? Wanted to talk today about personal protection dogs, which they call civil personal protection dogs, and sport dogs. And there's a big difference. Sport dogs are trained to do this action when a guy is wearing a suit or sleeve. They're not really, it's not a full aggression. It's more of a sport to them. They learn this stuff when they're puppies, and their drive to do it is because they get a reward, they get a tug or a treat or something, they get praised. They're not doing it to harm the decoy. They're not doing it to. Um, they're not really considered personal protection dogs. Personal protection dogs do it. When they do it, they mean it. They're doing it to hurt the decoy. They're doing it to protect the handler. They're doing it. So they're trained and raised up in two different ways. Most of your civil personal protection dogs, your real ones, you won't know them. They're underground. You won't know their name. You'll find them through word of mouth. They're not in sports arenas. They're not. They don't have big websites. They train real personal protection dogs. Most of your sports arena trainers don't train real protection dogs. These dogs are really pets. The only time they're activated is when they're in training and when someone is in a suit. So in actuality, they're still the same dog as your house pet when it comes to their temperament. Of so they may and they may not bite somebody that's not wearing a suit. That's the only difference with a personal protection dog and a sports arena dog is that a personal protection dog is really going to bite a suit. I mean, bite a person without a suit. They're going to attack. They're going to defend the house. They're going to defend the property. They're going to defend the handler. They're not going to back down, no matter how big the person is, no matter how many weapons they got in their hand. A sports dog is only activated when it's in a sports setting, a big grass field, a guy running and jumping and screaming and a bamboo stick and things like that. Where a real protection dog, it's gonna go take down a dude who's not wearing those things. And how trainers they do that, they know that their dog is a real civil protection dog is because they'll muzzle the dog and they'll do muzzle training with them. So if the dog will engage with the decoy out of a suit, then you know that you got a civil really protection dog. If the dog won't engage with a person that's not wearing a suit, then they're a sports dog. If someone's trying to challenge them and they won't bite at them or they won't attack them, then they're a sport dog. Which means in some police departments, a lot of reason why a lot of dogs flunk out is because when they've gone through all this training with the decoy and the suit, and then they have to get out on the street and attack somebody, they run straight up to the bad guy and they stop. They don't bite. That's because they're more of a sport drive and they're not a really defensive or fight drive. So most of the time when trainers choose this route, it's in the beginning of training. They choose the route, how they're going to challenge the dog, how they're going to activate the dog. If they act the dog into a defensive drive, the dog is going to be a real protection dog. If they've been playing with owners, if they've been playing with their own dog with the bite sleeve and a bite tug, and the dog only sees these equipments as toys and plays, they're a sport dog. So they're only going to bite when they see this equipment. They're not going to bite any other time. That's the difference between your sport dogs and your real civil protection dogs. And like I said again, most of your great trainers that I've ever met and worked with, you won't see them on YouTube. You won't see them on Facebook. You won't see them with a big website. You're not going to see them standing and doing videos like I do videos, like with music and stuff. You won't see that. Okay, I chose that route to go ahead and make those videos and add music to it a long time ago, and to come out of the underground sector and start showing you my dogs. And I thought the music would make it look a lot better and more engaging. But 90% of the real civil protection dogs trainers, you won't see them. They'll show you what they do in person. They won't shoot a video. They won't have a YouTube channel. And most of your, I would say, commercial dog trainers, your YouTubers and your ones that go to these events and they get all these awards and these trophies, they have sport dogs. They're not really protection dogs. They're using the notoriety of what they've won to milk money out of you. So basically, if you see they've won 50 trophies, you want to give them $50,000 to train your dog. Where the guy who you don't know of and you haven't heard of that's a real personal protection dog. And 90% of these guys are like in law enforcement. They can't post videos and pictures and stuff because they work in law enforcement. 90% of these guys are law enforcement trainers, and some of them are not. Some of them are just personal trainers, but they train real protection dogs. You have to find them. They're not going to be, like I said, you have to go through a network and find people who know people who can get you to them, but you're not just going to be able to Google them and find them on the internet. If it's that easy for you to find your dog trainer on the internet like that, be cautious, okay? But these guys, if you're looking for a real personal protection dog, because the training is broken down very different for a sport dog and for a real protection dog. And I hope I kind of clarified that a little bit for you guys, so you kind of understand that not every dog that bites a sleeve or suit is a personal protection dog. Not everyone, okay? It all depends on their drive and who trained them and how they were trained. Real personal protection dogs would do horrible in the arena. Absolutely horrible. They do horrible. And the reason why is because when they bite for real. They're not going to stand in front of a decoy and just bark on a command. Bark, 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 bark. They're not. When they release off the leash, they're going to kill that thing. A sport arena dog is going to sit there and bark on command like it's a game. Bark, 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 bark. Because it's a game to them. So they're not in a defensive drive. They're in a sport drive. They're in a fun drive. It's tug, pull. You know, you want me to bark. You want me to run around a cone. Great. You know, that's their mentality. A real sport dog is going straight to the threat and they're going to destroy it. So they would do horrible in sports arena when it comes to the judging. As far as the biting, they would destroy sport dogs. Sport dogs would have nothing on real protection dogs when it comes to the biting portion. Because when they bite, they mean it. They will toss their decoy across the field. They will make them feel pain. Where a sport dog, if they bite and the guy's too hurting too much, they might release. You know, they're going to release on command. They're not going to bite too hard, you know. So there's a big difference. And you have some trainers that they sneak their real personal protection dogs, the ones they've trained in civil war, and they teach them real good obedience, and they sneak them into those events, the shows, and their dogs are just that good at obedience that they sneak them in there, and that's why they win those events, because their dog is a real deal, but they just have really good solid obedience, so they get them into those sports arenas, so their dog is kind of like in between their sport and real protection, and they sneak them into those events, and then they win over someone dog that's just strictly sport. That's all they are, sport. So when they bite, it's like, oh my god, that dog can really bite, over your dog that really can't bite. So that was the difference. So I just wanted to break that down. I hope you guys are having a hot Wednesday, but that was it. And again, thank you guys for keeping up with Master Metal and everything that you guys have helped do for me and my dogs. I appreciate it. And keep up the good work. PM me, call me. I'll be there for you no matter what.